a lot, especially on this character, because every hard room you have to face is another room you can get damaged and that you won't be able to heal from. So if I can actually manage to save that Toril the very end of the game, it will be very useful. And here you can see the laser shot from Brimstone just completely destroys enemies, and it goes through rocks and any kind of obstructions, so it's really good. So this next part of the game should actually be fairly easy, I would think, just because of it. Here I'm starting to get some bombs, so I'm going to use one on that the Dark Rock. And I got another Soul Heart, which was good. And this right here is a nice pickup. It's the Small Rock pickup, which actually increases your damage. The thing is, I already have max damage, as you can see, because of Brimstone, so I don't think it will stack anymore. So normally it's a really good item, but it doesn't hurt to pick it up anyway. And you can see it changes your icon, so you now have a rock lodged in your skull. I really love the graphics in this game, just because it's probably one of my favorite things, is seeing what kind of combinations you can get, not only gameplay-wise, but just how it makes your character look. Yeah, so Brimstone, as you can see, is a really good pickup. The one thing, though, I don't like about it is it overwrites, I think, most of your other weapon pickups. So if you do get it, a lot of the other things you found are no longer useful. But it's such a good pickup that it doesn't really matter. It's usually worth it, unless you just want to play, unless you just found a pickup that you don't normally find and you want to play with that to see what you get. Here's the Dead Bird. I don't remember exactly what that one does. One of the other characters, Eve, starts with it, and I think it runs around and attacks people. It's, you know, one of the companion ones. It's an okay pickup, not that great. Here I'm gonna buy a Soul Heart just because this character needs every bit of life you can get. And if you notice, I've been holding charges before rooms. That's a good strategy with any charge shot, is that you can charge it up before you enter a room and let off a shot right away. A lot of the times you can actually end up killing everyone before they even have a chance to hurt you. And if you see this guy has been flattened, if you do too much damage to one of these guys when they're in their shell state, that'll happen, because you can't actually hurt them when they're like that. So that just kind of shows that you've done a lot of damage to them, and it makes them delay a bit before they pop back up. And look how much damage this does. Each shot is like 1/3 of his life, or slightly less. So as you can see, it's a really good pickup if you can get it, Brimstone. Let's see what this is. Justice, I believe, spawns a couple of items. Yeah, so a bomb, a key, a coin, and a heart. It's definitely decent if you're short on keys or bombs. Now, once you get to a certain point where you have like 3 or 4 keys, 3 or 4 bombs, you can generally avoid ever running out again, just because you have enough bombs to use on things like this, where you can get this chest and then you'll usually find more bombs or keys. That time we didn't, but you know, if you have enough bombs, it's definitely not a big deal if you waste 1 or 2 every now and again. It's a big contrast from the beginning of the game where every bomb and key matters. Here's probably the secret room. Yep. And this item, we saw it last video, but it's really good. Or, not last video, but last playthrough. This one gives you a second life. So, as you can imagine, it's really good. I think with this character, though, when you resurrect, you start off with 3 soul hearts like you did in the beginning of the game, whereas with another character you would actually start off with as much life as you had, and that's just because you have actual life with other characters instead of soul hearts. This item is the bag of bombs. Basically it just spawns bombs every couple of rooms. It's nice, but at this point in the game we were probably going to be set on bombs anyway, so I think we're not going to get too much use out of it, but I may be wrong. At the very least, it'll allow me to be more liberal when I use bombs against bosses, because bombs are pretty damaging, so if you have extra to use against the boss, it's oftentimes worth it. forget what other items were in the shop. I'm gonna go take another peek really quick. I remember there's a dead bird, and I bought a soul heart already. I don't remember if there's anything else worth buying, so I'm gonna just take a look at it really quick before I leave. Tarot card and normal heart, so nah, I'm alright. Alright, so about to face the boss. We'll see who he is in a second or two. Ooh, the Fallen. This guy was added, I think, in a patch after the game came out. He's actually the minion of the final boss too, which you saw if you watched my last playthrough. He's actually a pretty difficult boss. Most of the bosses this early on aren't really that hard. But this guy, I think he can show up anywhere. And yeah, he's definitely more difficult than most of the bosses, but still not terribly hard. And the fact that I have Brimstone helps a lot too. So he has a similar shot, except his goes in 4 directions. And this is the monster manual. I'll pick it up really quick just to show you what it does, but I don't think I'm going to keep it. But you use it and it'll summon a random, see, summon that fly for me. They're not permanent though, it's only for 1 room. If it's permanent, it would be probably really overpowered. So I'm just going to get my unicorn horn back since I like it better. But yeah, I think the monster manual just summons a random, one of the random companion familiars you can get. It only lasts for a room, and I think it has like a 6-room recharge though, so it's not that great. It can be useful, but I think the horn's probably a bit better, and at least for me, because of the invulnerability. So I think we should have like 4 speed now. No, we only have 3. Never mind. Huh. Gee, that's weird. I thought it should have updated, but I think sometimes it doesn't update properly. Let me take another look at it. No, it's still 3. Yeah, I don't know why. I thought we already had 3, but maybe not. Oh, you know, it's possible one of the other pickups I got. Oh, you know what? I remember. The slow rock, I think, or the small rock actually lowers your speed by 1, and I think increases damage by 1. But it could be wrong, but I think that's why I only had 2 speed. I forget what this one is. Oh, Mr. Boom. He's not that great. You just drop a really oversized bomb. There's a pickup item which is passive, which will let you do that with every bomb. So that's a lot better than that one, because that one's a spacebar item. So I think I'm gonna go for it. Soul Heart. So if I can manage to finish this room without getting hurt, it's definitely worth it. Normally I skip the arenas, but it depends on what's in there. If it's a golden chest, I'll usually do it, or if I really need a bomb or a key. Also, if there's some, very rarely you'll find actual item pickups in the room, and of course then it's generally worth it too. I did get hurt already though, so I really only gained half a soul heart instead of a whole heart because of that. The moon teleports you directly to the secret room, so you don't have to use a bomb to find it, and you don't have to look for it. It's pretty nice. I have to go back and get my other tarot card because I want to save that till the end of the game. We'll, if I make it that far, we'll see later why it's a good idea to save an Emperor card for the end of the game if you manage to find one. If you ever played all the way to the end of the game, you'll know why. It's because Sheol, which is the final level, is very difficult. And that was actually, we showed that off in my first playthrough. And as you saw there, that bomb that appeared was because of my bag of bombs. Every couple of rooms, it'll drop a bomb. There's besides that, there's also a few other items like that. There's a bag of coins, which, well, you can imagine what it does. And this item, the sun, it actually reveals the entire level to you, so that's handy. And then there's, I think Little Chad is a companion. He won't attack, but he will drop hearts occasionally. Then there's, I think, the Rosary, or there's one item that drops soul hearts every couple of levels, so that's a really good one, especially for this character. Also, for this character, you'll want to usually keep an eye out for the Book of Revelations, which is a spacebar item, and every couple of levels it lets you generate a soul heart for yourself. So it's very good. Probably one of the best spacebar items for this character. But only if you find it on early enough. So Pride's pretty easy. He has these bomb attacks, and then he also has like one other near close range attack. Pretty simple when you have Brimstone though. The tower generates a bunch of bombs all over the room. Lit bombs, not pickup bombs. So it's okay, but you can end up hurting yourself if you're not careful. And I'd much rather have the Emperor. So I mean, I guess I could use it for the boss and come back and get the Emperor card later, but it's not really even that good, so I'm not gonna bother. Arcade, you spend a penny, you get inside, and you have 3 things. I'll just show you what they are. The blood bank, you sacrifice health to get money. I'm not going to do it because I have no way of healing with this character. So normally you would want to use the blood bank and then just pick up the hearts that are all over the floor. But this time I'm just going to blow it up and get what's inside, which is hearts are useless. Sometimes I'll drop money though, so I'll show you the shell game like once. Basically you paid a coin and then an item appears beneath the shell. And then I think it's just random, like you can't actually track the shell. So if you... wow, that was stupid. Okay. If you win, you get the item, sometimes multiple copies of it. Otherwise, you get that fly. And I'll just try to play until I get 1 pickup. Normally, I don't bother, but just to show you what it's like to actually win. And a little while back, you saw that little fly with a heart under the shell. That's another pickup you can get. It's called like Fly Love, I think. Oh, in this case, that heart I got made up for the damage I got, plus a bit more, so it was actually worth it. But you can blow them up and get stuff. Hopefully this is a good one. I'm just gonna go ahead and use it right now. Okay, bombs are key. They swap your bombs and your keys, so now I have 8 bombs and 2 keys instead of 2 bombs and 8 keys. I don't really want to play the slot machine, so I'm just going to blow it up and get what's inside. But slot machines are actually pretty useful, but I'm just going to use my money in the shop. Hopefully there's something worthwhile. Yeah, see, here is the Book of Revelations in the middle. So I am actually going to get that instead of the unicorn horn. It would have been nice if I could have got that battery we saw earlier in the game, because I would be able to use it a lot more, but this... the book might very well help me to win where I'd otherwise lose, just because of how fragile this character is. So, of course, on the flip side, by giving up the unicorn horn, I am giving up partial immunity, or a timed immunity during boss fights, so depending on how badly I play against these next upcoming bosses, it might have actually been better to save the horn, because unless I can generate more life than I lose from not having that immunity, it's not worth it. But if you play well enough, it shouldn't be a problem. Of course, I don't always play well enough, so hopefully it doesn't come back to bite me in the ass. And this is Pestilence. He's one of the 4 horsemen. There's, Pestilence, War, Famine, Death, and then there's also like a 5th one who's, I guess he's kind of like one of the horsemen. He's called the Headless Horseman. They're all... well, some of them are kind of hard. This guy's not too bad. Most of the other ones are a lot harder, though. I think Hunger is pretty easy, too. See, the 4 horsemen always drop these red cubes. The first one gives you just a floating blocker, but you can actually upgrade it, I think, 5 times, or to 5 levels worth. So the next one gives you like a floating head, which will shoot at people and block shots. The one after that will we'll have a guy that runs around and attacks people in melee, and then I think the 4th level is just a bigger version of that. And you know what, there may actually only be 4, not 5. So here, the one on the right is laser. That turns your tears to lasers, but since I have Brimstone, I don't think they're compatible. And the one on the left is a quarter. Normally the laser item is actually really good, but I think Brimstone is better. Plus, Brimstone I think overrides it anyway, so...